Chicken teriyaki, veggies, and rice is this week's meal prep. Let's get into it. We're starting off with cooking our jasmine rice, so let's measure it out. I did not have a scale, so we're using cups. Make sure to wash your rice before you use it. I don't know why, I've just heard that it's better. So go ahead and rinse your rice, and then we're going to throw it into a rice cooker. If you don't have a rice cooker, that's fine. I just find it easier. So let's fill it up with some water and set it to cook. Next, we're going to start chopping up our vegetables. I'm starting with chopping the zucchini. You can also do a mixture of zucchini and squash, really just whatever vegetables you're feeling like having with your stir fry. Then we're going to go in with mushrooms. Don't forget to rinse them, but a little dirt don't hurt. So if you see a little dirt, I know it's there. So let's go ahead and chop up our onions last because they're going to make me cry. Don't judge how I chop these onions. I just wanted to get it done and over with. So now that our vegetables are chopped up, we're drizzling our pans with some olive oil, getting those vegetables put on the pan. The oven is set to 400, and we're going to stick them in there to cook for 20 minutes and then switch them and cook for another 20 more. Now let's start chopping our chicken breast. You can also use chicken thighs. It depends on whatever your macros are for the week. So we're trying to chop them up into kind of small cubes. No, they're not perfect, but this is realistic. We are not a cooking show, okay? We are just trying to eat healthy. I already have a skillet on with a little bit of olive oil in there set to medium high. So we're going to place our chicken breast in there. Once the chicken breasts are in there, we're going to stir it around for a second. And then we're going in with our seasonings. We're using onion powder and ginger. And then we're going to stir that around to make sure none of the chicken sticks to the bottom. Then we're going to go in with some black pepper. And then we're going in with a little bit of salt. I tried to look cool, but that didn't work. So mix that around and just let it kind of cook. And it's going to take a long while to cook this chicken, okay? When you think it's done, it's not done. We want it to be browning. That's how we get that good chicken. See how that's a little bit browned? Keep going from that point on. And then once we get that browned looking chicken, that's when we're going to get ready to add our sauce. So go ahead and turn the heat off and start measuring out your sauce. I'm using chicken teriyaki and get that in there. You don't want to use too much because it's just to coat the chicken. Set the chicken to the side and let's work on getting our rice into our meal prep containers. So measure out however you want with a scale or with a cup. Start getting that rice into those meal prep containers. Once you get the rice in the prep containers, flatten it out a little bit so you can fit all the other extra goodies in there. So let's go ahead and put the vegetables on top of that rice. I didn't really measure the vegetables. I just kind of wanted to make it look as even as possible. So now that we have the vegetables in there, we're going to measure out the chicken with just a cup because I didn't have a scale. And once that chicken is in there, we are done did complete. I know this looks like a lot of food for meal preps, but this is not mine for this week. I'm actually meal prepping for someone else, and they only eat twice a day.